So with them keep releasing unit that is supposed to be released after Celestia, and who kit is also heavily reliant on Torchpoint and 6 star. At this rate that we are going, I wouldn't be surprised if we're getting Bravely Default 2 next month. Isla the Scarlet Kate, the mascot of the game and also the very first Kate as a playable character. Compared to the JP version, Isla got some buff, mostly multi-hit buff, but the main buff is in the ultimate buff, which make it like the strongest magic ultimate buff in both EN and JP right now. Isla is a scholar who can do damage and also buff other scholar, who is specialized in the fire and lightning element. He has two 5-hit skills that debuff the elemental defense down at max boost and also the resistance down of the corresponding element of fire and lightning. And also, the debuff is inflicted with each hit, so Isla is guaranteed to immediately inflict a 9 tons of magic defense down, and also either fire resistance down or lightning defense down, which is extremely useful. He also has a buff skill where he grants everyone, so you don't have to worry about positioning your character front or back to get the buff, 15% magic up, and also if they are scholar, also grant them fire, 15% fire and damage up, and lightning damage up. The restriction isn't that big of a problem because most of the strong fire and lightning DPS are scholar already. Fire has Federica and Solon, lightning has Nivel, and then Cyrus, and then I guess the only one that's affected by this is Primrose EX, but Prim EX is more of a breaker than DPS though. The first passive grants Isla 20% magic up and also fire and lightning damage up if you boost max. Will be increased to 30% once you get 6 star for Isla, but for now it'll just be 20%. The second passive is that Isla increased the passive buff cap of magic from 30% to 50%. Isla is one of the first few characters that done this, but from now on there will be a lot more characters that will raise the buff cap from 30% to 50%. Torchpoint passive also grants Isla 20% magic up whenever you switch from the front row to back row, and also to any scholar in the back row too. So once Isla has 6 star and Torchpoint fully, switching from the back to the front and boosting max will grant Isla 50% magic up and also passive 30% fire and lightning damage up. So the passive buff is fully capped out. And then for the ultimate, which got buffed by a lot, originally this passive was only limited to Isla and whoever in the back of Isla. Now it just granted to everyone's stats, so now it's one of the best magic buff ultimate in the game. Ultimate buff and debuff are always very strong, and 20% magic up and damage up on an ultimate is extremely strong. Even in JP, most characters only have 15% at level 10, but Isla over here is granting everyone 20%, so he will be very strong for a magic team. Overall, for a magic team, I don't think Isla can help with the other team because beside the ultimate and the passive, the skill does not help anyone that is not fire or lightning at all. And only one Isla is fire team or lightning team. I think right now, Isla's best team would be with Nivel, because we don't have most of the Celestia character, and I think Sword is the current meta. So with the new magic buff, ultimate buff that Isla have, and the new 5-hit lightning, I think that lightning team might be stronger now. Isla buff is good, but it's still not on a level up must pull because even now in JP, Isla's niche in JP. Like if you only care for one magic DPS in JP, then you would use Isla, but he is very niche, so most of the time you don't see him being used anyway. And second of all, with how Square is releasing Ostera unit early before Celestia unit, then wouldn't there's a chance that Bravely Default Part 2 is also coming early? If they are gonna release the Bravely Default 2 character early, then that also means that Magnolia and Ring a Bell is coming. But if they want to skip the collab and delay for some stuff in the future, and they just keep want to bring over the memory character, then after Isla and Rick, it will be the Hunter K Kilns, and after Kilns, it will be Shana, and Shana is also very good. Shanna excelled multiple things, including giving your entire team like immortality for 2 turns straight in a row. And also, if they are delaying Celestia until next year, then even might be Tiziano might show up early, and Tiziano is one of the best characters Chafee's currently have right now, and I still regret skipping him 3 months ago! Anyway, what I mean to say was that much more character in the future, close to Isla, is much stronger and better than Isla, so it's not really worth it to pull for Isla because much more character in the future is better.